Welcome, everyone. Hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Wow, we see lots of people flooding in. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Hello, coders. How are we doing, Hacker Gals? Excellent. I see some excited folks in the chat. Welcome. I see some people are ready for some sneaky code. How is everyone doing? And can everyone hear me? I know we've got some people joining in classrooms from all across the country, so I want to make sure that everybody can hear me and see me very well. Can everybody hear me and see me? Excellent. And we're enjoying the good beats. I'm not putting everyone to sleep. Excellent. Good. I hope no one's sleeping. Awesome. Great. Well, if everyone is here and if everyone is ready to go, we can go ahead and get started. So I'll just put this beatsy music on pause. Bear with me one sec, and we'll go ahead and get the Sneaky Code webinar started. All right, Hacker Gals, welcome, welcome. I am Christiane, the Ambassador Program Manager here at Hackergal, and I work with some phenomenal high school ladies that have been chosen to represent Hackergal and our mission of showing girls across Canada how to code and to realize their potential in the STEAM fields so that we can help close the gender gap in technology. You may also see our Hackergal team member Jen helping us out in the chat. Jen, feel free to hop on camera really quick and wave to our learners at home.
Hi, Hackergals. I'm so excited to be here, and I'll be background in the chat answering all of your questions. So feel free to ask me anything as we go along.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Jen. And I do have an exciting treat to share. It's not just me here today. As I mentioned my ambassadors earlier, I actually have a fantastic ambassador here with me, and her name is Jessica Young. So, Jessica, please allow me to introduce you to our virtual stage. She's going to be teaching you some sneaky code today. All right, take it away, Jessica.
Hi everyone, I'm Jessica, as everyone already knows, and I'm one of your Hackathon ambassadors this year. I'm super excited to be here, and I hope you're enjoying the hackathon so far. I'll pass it back on to Christy, but I will be back later.
So sorry for the technical difficulties, friends. I am back, and I wanted to go over some really quick reminders about today's event. First of all, I wanted to let you know that today's event is being recorded so that if you do miss anything or if Jessica's taught something that you would like to go back and review later, you absolutely can, because we're going to post this recording up later for you to review. We have also disabled all attendee microphones and cameras for privacy reasons. We'd like to remind you that the chat will be for positive and supportive messages only. Please do not share any personal information or contact details in the chat. Please submit all of your questions using the Q&A feature. And remember that we also have a Padlet so that if you have questions for later, you can put them there. Jen will share the Padlet link in the chat for everyone. So please also tag at the Hackergals on social media using hashtag I'm a Hackergal and hashtag Je suis une Hackergal. All right. Hopefully everyone's all good on those. Here's a quick look at our agenda for today. So we're going to give you a quick idea of how this event is going to play out. Now that we've taken care of our introductions, we're going to move on to a fun icebreaker demo to show you some sneaky code in action. Then Jessica has an amazing links project that she's going to showcase, and she's going to teach you some of the sneaky code that she used in her project. And then you can code along with her. So that's pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Then we're going to wrap up our coding demo and go over a few closing notes. Now let's give you a quick sneak preview of that coding icebreaker that I talked about. You know we all love to have fun here at Hackergal, so we're going to show you a fun example of hidden code or putting sneaky Easter eggs into whatever it is that you're coding. No, Google, not those kinds of Easter eggs. Yes, code Easter eggs. That's what we meant. So as this slide says, and as you all know, code is the language that we use to speak to computers. So websites, apps, even your microwave, they all need code to work. So we're going to show you one of the many ways that Google has put an Easter egg or hidden code onto their website. Now, on this slide, you're seeing your typical Google search engine. Now, the developers at Google coded something sneaky in here, something they actually do quite often. Let us know in the chat. Have you guys ever seen anything sneaky on a website before? Have you ever seen any examples of sneaky code, or do you know any fun Google tricks? Maybe you've seen them before. Let us know in the chat if you've seen it, but I'm going to hit play here and I'm going to show you this cool thing that Google does. Okay, so I don't know if you guys caught that, but it was an angle bracket, the word blink, and then an end angle bracket. And I don't know if you guys saw this, I'll play it one more time. And one of the more popular things that came up, just in the sense of talking about community, you'll notice that a band Blink-182 came up. That band, Blink-182, was very popular when I was your age. Some of you might know Kourtney Kardashian's husband, Travis Barker. He's the drummer for Blink-182. But that was my community when I was your age. So anyone who understood angsty music and wore a lot of black clothing and black makeup, that was my community back in the day. Emotional music, that was my jam. But in any case, when you type that into Google, something really neat happens. We're going to show you here on this next slide. And if you hit play, at first nothing remarkable happens, but when you start scrolling through the results, you'll notice something happening there. Did you guys catch that? Let me know in the chat if you saw what happened. Something sneaky. So if on Google, yes, good job. Lily and Sienna, you totally got it. And I'm so sorry, I hope I pronounced that name correctly, but you got it. Absolutely. Everything is blinking. So that's a really cool trick that if you type the angle bracket and the word blink into Google, things start blinking. So that's a really neat kind of Easter egg trick that Google has actually coded into their web page. So now that we have an example of how sneaky code works, I want to pass things over to our fabulous ambassador who is going to teach you how to put some sneaky code into your links project. All right, so I'm going to hand this over to our amazing ambassador, Jessica. I'll quit sharing my screen so she can start sharing hers. And for those of you who are coding along with Jessica, it would be a good idea to open up links so that when she's ready to start coding, you guys are all logged in and ready to go so that you can code along with her. So it is time for links and it is time for Jessica. I'll disappear, but don't worry, I'll be back later. Take it away, Jessica.
Cool. All right, everyone. So now I'm going to walk you through a little sneaky code project that I made before we code together. So let me just share my screen. All right, can everyone see my screen? Okay. Cool. So it's really simple. It's just called Riddle Me This, and it's a riddle game. So we're going to click on the start button, and then basically the goal of this game is to solve the riddle, which will pop up in a second. So the background will make sense soon. The riddle is this. So you go at red, but you stop at green. What am I? If you know the answer, please don't spoil it. for the others, so that'd be great. I'll give everyone a second to read it, and then I'll also paste it in chat. I tried to pick a mildly easy one. All right. So if you still can't see the riddle, it is in the chat. All right. So in the marketplace, this is the background. And so everything here can be like the answer to the riddle. So like, it could be the ice cream cone, it could be the garbage can, I'm pretty sure that is, it could be the fruit stand, it could be the house. So if you have any guesses, you can just drop it in the chat for what the answer could be. Anything? The flag? Okay, let's click on that. All right, so that was a good guess, but there isn't any green in the flag, so unfortunately it's not. Oh yeah, Lily, the riddle is, I'll paste it into the chat again. Here you go. Yeah, okay, wow, you got it. So it is the watermelon. Yeah, so if you click on that, you can see a speech bubble pops up, and your reasoning's exactly right. You eat the red part and you stop eating at the green part. One of my friends eats the green part, which is confusing for me, but each to their own. And if you click this little purple button down here, that's just the end of the game. So now I'm going to walk you through how to actually code this so we can code together. This is your chance to follow along and learn how to code your own Easter eggs. Jen will share my project link in a chat, and you can open my project to follow along in a new browser tab. So I have mine already open, and Jen, it's been shared in a chat. So if you have any questions, remember that you can either just text them in a chat or you can ask them on the Hackathon Padlet. And so if everyone could give me some kind of thumbs up or text in the chat when you see this page in your browser, that'd be great. All right. I think everyone's good then. If anyone needs a bit more time, I'll do like 5 more seconds. Okay, cool. Thanks. All right, so in order to edit, we're just going to click on this edit button up here on the right-hand side. And here we get rid of that. Here we have our little funky page where we code everything. So first, what we're going to do is we're actually going to make these little black turtles here resemble something closer to a flag or a watermelon. And the way we're going to do that is actually 2 ways. A lot of you probably already know the set shape command, but for those who don't, that's completely fine. I'll show you how to assign clip art in 2 ways. First, just using the set shape command. So first, what we are going to do is we're going to not double click, 2-finger click, or if you're using a Windows, I think it might be left click the turtle. And then here you have your dialog box. So it shows you the name, shows you a bunch of other random things that you don't need to know for now. As you can see, this turtle right here is named flag. And so I'm just going to exit out of that. So now I know which turtle to actually tell to change the clip art to. Then I'm going to go to my clip art pane, which is in the left-hand corner. It's this little farm icon right here. And you can see that I've already loaded all of the clip art that I used into the clip art pane. So I'm going to write in this little gray box right here, flag, comma, that's the name of the turtle. And then I'm going to write set shape. As you can see, when I'm writing it, it actually gives me a bunch of cool options, and then it narrows it down as I continue writing. Set sh and set shape are the same. So if you don't want to write too much, you're going to use set sh. I'll write set shape just for clarity. And does anyone have an idea of what I should write behind set shape to assign a flag to this turtle? 22? Yeah. So do that. And it works. So when you're writing something out in links, you always have to remember to hit the enter or return button so that it actually like executes. So once we have that, now we have our flag. It's a bit big though. We want it to blend into the background a bit more. So we're going to use flag. And then does anyone know a really straightforward command that could maybe reduce the size of the flag? Set size, yeah, really, you're on a roll, wow. Okay, so we can use set size. And as you can see, that shows up as green as well. If you ever forget what a command is, you just hover over it. And then it gives you this little hover tip that shows you an example of how to use it, what it does, etc. So that's a useful tip. And then let's do 20. All right, so as you can see, that made the flag smaller. If I do something like 100, that makes the flag extremely big. A good tip to note is that 40 is the default size. So if I type 40, that's the original size of the clip art once you load it in. And then, so if you want anything smaller, you have to do a number smaller than 40. So for example, 20 would be half the size. And then actually it's a bit big. So maybe 10, or maybe 10's a bit small, let's do 15. And so here we go. So now we've got our flag. The second way to assign clip art to a turtle, and I'm not sure if any of you know this, it's a cool little Easter egg that Lynx has built in, is you can click on, for example, let's assign the watermelon to the flag. You can click on the clip art that you want to assign in the clip art pane, and then drop it onto the turtle by just clicking on the clip art and then clicking on the turtle. And it changes the shape of the turtle, which is really cool. And it's really, I like doing it because it's so much easier and I don't have to type out all of this stuff. As you can see, it does retain its size, so you don't have to do set size again. But I want that to be a flag, so I'm going to change it back. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So now that I've shown you how to do it just to the flag, I'll give you all just a couple of minutes, maybe like 1-2 minutes to assign different clip art that you want to the turtles. And if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. I'll just be assigning it as well on the screen if you want to follow along. And Christy, if you could grace us with your amazing music, I'd appreciate it. All right. All right. So Christy, if unfortunately you did turn the music off, I'm sorry. All right. So if everyone is ready to go and has all the clip art assigned, we can move on to the actual coding. Seeing that no one has any questions. Cool. So now we're going to start coding the turtles. So first we're going to start with the command on click. So since we're coding, I'm going to switch over to this procedure pane. It's this keyboard on the left-hand column of your screen. If you click on that, it gives you this fun little page. Cool. So right now, we want the flag and the light and the watermelon to react when we actually click on it, right? We want it to show up and like create this big speech bubble. But if I click on it now, nothing happens. So what we can do to actually make it act like a button is that if you two-finger click or if you left click on it, the same way as we did before, you again open up this cool little dialog box here. And then you can see now that we are going to use on click. It should be the first drop-down menu on the dialog box. And right now it's empty, which makes sense because we haven't assigned anything to it. So what we're going to do though is we are actually going to click this drop-down box and click new. What that does is Links automatically creates a new procedure for us instead of us having to write it out, which is pretty convenient. So if I click apply, that should give me the procedure. Okay, yeah, so that makes sense, Lily, that nothing's happening because we haven't assigned a procedure to it yet. So later, when we actually finish coding this, then when you click on a flag, something will happen. So don't worry about that right now. Does that answer your question? Hopefully. If the dialog box is not appearing, try left clicking on the flag or two-finger clicking on it. Either should work depending on what kind of computer you're using. And then that should appear. All right, I'll move on, but if like it still doesn't work, just let me know in the chat. Cool. So now we have our own little procedure. And if you can see this gray stuff, this is called a comment. So if you want to write something that describes what you're doing so that later on you can go back and be like, oh yeah, this piece of code makes a turtle move forward. All you have to do is write a semicolon and then write whatever you want. It should show up in gray. And that's how you know that whatever you write there will not affect what you actually code. So whatever you write, nothing will execute if you write it with a semicolon in front. All right, so we are going to write a procedure, but first I just want to show you that you can actually change the name of your procedure. I quite like this name, but in case, for example, you want to change it to something different, you can get rid of the name that is auto-generated just by deleting it, and then you can write something else like flag, or flag pop-up or something like that. Just so that's easier for you if you don't like the name that Links created. All right, so now we want a speech bubble to appear, and we have a procedure. Does anyone know a command that would make a speech bubble appear, maybe? If you do, just type it in the chat. Okay, it's completely fine if you don't. Announce. Wow. Okay, well, yeah, you guys are right. It is announce. So let me just type that here. If I type in announce, you can see that it turns green. And so that shows us that it is a valid command that Links has. If I click on it or if I hover over it, it says that it displays a message in an alert box. So that's exactly what we wanted to do, so good job. If we want to write something, make something appear, we have to use these two square brackets. You have to write everything you want to print in these two square brackets. If you don't, it will not print the stuff that you write. So for example, what could we write? We know the flag is the wrong answer, so maybe something like, oh no, you got, or that's not the right answer. Nice try. And you can write anything you want, literally anything goes, numbers, symbols. I'm pretty sure emojis work as well. You can add anything. If you are seeing these green words pop up, don't worry about it. That won't affect how it prints. That's just Links telling you that it could be a command, but because you're using it in this text box, it's just going to print normally. So I'll give everyone just a second to write whatever they want in there. And then I will test it out with you. So let's see. If I click on this flag, theoretically, it should pop up. A speech bubble should happen, right? So let's see. Click. Oh, wow. Okay, so you can see down here in the command center, nothing happens. In fact, there's an error. Link says, I don't know how to flag click. That's weird though, because I mean, like we did set it up correctly, right? So does anyone know why it didn't work? If I open up the dialog box, there's a little hint for everyone. It's a common mistake. Yeah, you're right. So I didn't update the name. Right now you can see that it's referencing flag underscore click. So every time I click on a flag, it's saying, oh, okay, we're going to execute the procedure called flag click. But like that procedure doesn't exist anymore because we changed the name. So what we have to do is we have to change it to the new and updated name, which is flag pop-up. And then we are going to apply our changes. Always remember to do that or else nothing like saves. So basically a rule of thumb is whenever you're changing the name of a procedure, always make sure to edit the onClick function in your turtle to make sure everything is in sync. Yeah, Christy, what a mood. Happens to me too. So now that we've got that working, if we click on it, yeah, it should announce and it should say, oh no, it's not the right answer, nice try. At least for me, that's what it says. And then we click OK, and then that's it. So I will give everyone just maybe a couple of minutes to write out the rest for the other clip art if you want. Is there not a way for it to not see it? Oh, I don't think so. I think that's just links because, yeah, that's a good question. The way I've been using it is it just happens like that. Yeah, that's just the procedure. It's kind of ugly, but it's okay. Yeah, cool. So, I'll give everyone just maybe a couple minutes to test things out on their own, announce a lot of things if you want. Yeah, Chrissy, if you could grace us with your amazing music again. Yeah, so Christy, if you could lower the volume a bit. Yeah. So basically, I don't, at least personally, I don't go on a site to get clip art. I can actually show everyone while everyone else is coding. For example, if I want a dog, a PNG maybe clip art. If I go to images, there's a bunch, but then obviously some of them have backgrounds and I don't want that. So I just go to tools and then I click color and then you can choose for it to be transparent. So then I just choose whatever I want from here and then I upload it to links. For sites for clip art, I don't know any, but yeah, Jen just recommended a good one. So you could use that as well. Hopefully that answers your question. And also, right, you have to, it's just good practice to use the Creative Commons license. So click under usage rights, you can also choose that so that you're not accidentally copywriting someone's stuff. Yeah, you're welcome. Right. And if anyone's unsure what to do, you can just follow along because I'm going to speed run the rest. All right, I'll give everyone just a minute or so. All right, so I'm going to assume that everyone has all of their procedures written out. If not, just let me know in the chat. Yeah, okay, cool. So we can just quickly test it out just to make sure that everything works. So if I click on the flag, that pops up. If I click on the light, this also pops up. And then click this, and then this pops up. All right, cool. So now I think if I'll actually show you, I'll show everyone something that doesn't involve the announce command that like avoids having the weird announce symbol up top, if that will help anyone. So I'm also just winging it. I think it'll work. Hopefully this will work. But let's say you want something to appear. Then, for example, if you click create a new text box, have a new text box, and then you can write the exact same thing. Like, oh no, that's not the right answer. Nice try. So the point of this is if you want to avoid having like the announce stuff up there, you can also just make a text box appear. Obviously, this might look a bit strange, but you can make it transparent, which also helps. If I just click transparent here, and actually it's a tad ugly because the black does not blend in well. Let's see if I put it up here. Does it probably work? Yeah, and let's just name it text one for now. And then so for example, I can make text one disappear by just making it invisible. The way you get this dialog box is the same way that you got the dialog box for the turtles. It's just by 2-finger clicking or by left clicking, depending on what computer you're on the actual text box. And so this will pop up. If you make it invisible, it disappears just like we want it to. And then instead of having the announce stuff happen in your procedure, you can replace it with what Jen actually sent in the chat, which is text one. I'll actually just copy paste it like that. So if you do that, then maybe 5 is a bit too short. If you click on a flag now, the text will show up and then it will disappear. The only problem with that maybe is that you can also just, you have to layer a bunch of text over each other if you want them all to appear in the same place. You could also make them appear in different corners if you want. But I guess that's another shortcut that everyone could use if you don't want the ugly announce symbol to be up there. Is that working for everyone? Okay. All right. And so yeah, there's 2 different ways. If you feel like the announce, if you still like the announce, that's completely fine. It's like less work because you don't have to create text boxes. But if you want something more aesthetic, you could always go for the text box. All right. Just to let everyone know that the commands I used were show text, hide text, and wait. So if you're not sure what those mean, show text just makes the current text box visible. And then hide text, it's pretty intuitive, makes the current text box invisible. And then wait pauses what links does for a certain number of seconds. It's in tenths of a second. I'm not sure what the word for that is. I cannot math, but it waits for that amount of time and then it hides the text afterwards. So those are some new commands, very cool. Can we do the same thing with turtles? Yes, we can. I can actually demonstrate that right now. So what turtle do we want to do it on? Let's do it with the watermelon, because I feel like that would be the most obvious, and I want to keep this here in case anyone wants to reference it. So for the watermelon, or maybe the flag is clicked. Oh, yes, actually that's a good idea. I'll do that instead, Jen. So okay. If you want a turtle to disappear or appear, I'm pretty sure it's just show. Or maybe it's not actually. You can make it invisible. Oh yeah, ST, my bad. So you can do the same thing with turtles, the same way you did it with the text, except instead of show text, it's just ST, which is short for show turtle, and HT, which is short for hide turtle. So right now I have my flag is visible. Maybe at the end I can, after I click the flag, I can make it disappear. And I would do that by writing flag, which is the same as the turtle, and then writing HT. So now both disappear. I just made the background disappear. Oh yeah, just click the undo button. It's right here. Secret word. Cool. Sure. But yeah, hold on. So if you want the flag back, in case anyone is frantic that they've lost their very precious flag, you can just write flag. Here, I'll do here. Flag, comma, and then ST for show turtle. Then if you click enter, then you have your flag back. Anyone have any questions? All right. So, does anyone have any requests for what they want me to show? If not, I can just show everyone something cool with setting size and random stuff. All right. Cool. So I guess if everyone is set and there are no suggestions, I can show everyone a cool little trick. I didn't call it a trick, but it's pretty interesting. It's kind of a mashup of different commands. So let's say that I want the flag to maybe change sizes when I click on it. The way I do that, obviously, everyone already knows, is through set size. But what if I want it to change to a random size? For example, it will be really large one moment, but then if I click on it again, it might get really, really small. The way that you do that is actually pretty cool, because this is a cool way that links layers a bunch of commands together. First, what we're going to do is, just like we created the procedure for the flag pop-up procedure, I can actually here, I'll do it for the watermelon, because I feel like the watermelon would be fun to enlarge. I love watermelon. Let's see, we can two-finger click again or left click on the watermelon to open a dialog box. And then we can create a new procedure. So instead of on click for watermelon click, we'd on click new procedure by clicking new. We apply that there. Cool. Oh, and yeah, you can make your code like a different riddle. You can change the background. You can make it like a Star Wars thing. Anything you want. Cool. So now we have this little procedure that Links has created for us. I don't really want this name because I want it to be something else. It's not really, doesn't really tell me what the procedure is going to do. So I'm going to set it to random, maybe watermelon size. It's a very long name. So first what we're going to do is we're going to change the size of the flag. So flag, set size, this is already what we know. But now we want to make the number random. So does anyone know a command that can maybe generate a random number? It's very intuitive. Random, yeah. Oh, are so fast. Yeah, random rhymes with random, that is true. So if you type random, not random, that also shows up that screen, so you know that it is a command. So now you can see we have 2 commands in a row. That's not a problem. What range do we want the random size generator to be? I would say maybe to 80, because I don't want it to be super, super big, and I don't want it to be so minimal that you can't see the size difference. 80 would mean that it can either go from 0 to 79. So either the watermelon can go up in size all the way to double its size, or it can go down in size all the way to, I think it should be size 0, yeah. So now that we have that, we can test it out. So if I click on the watermelon, okay, it doesn't know how to riddle watermelon click. This is the same error as last time. If you 2-finger click on it and you change the on click procedure to random watermelon size, and then you click on it, it should work. Oh, my bad. Like someone in the chat might have, oh, no. Well, I did make a mistake. I wrote flag instead of watermelon, so my bad. Let's make the flag size 10 again. Cool. So now if I click on a watermelon, you can see that a watermelon changes size. And now it's really big watermelon. Obviously it's not really realistic, but that's fine because watermelons, the more watermelon you have, the better life is. But let's say that we want to make the watermelon go back to its original size. Well, what we can do is we can just, again, watermelon, comma, set size, and then I had my original size, I think as, what did I have it as? I had it as 5. So I'll go back to set size 5. However, if you had a different size for it, just type that in instead. But then now if I click on it, nothing happens because Lynx is setting the size to maybe a random number, and then immediately it's setting it back to 5. So nothing happens. I want to still be able to see what happens to the watermelon. So I'm going to use that wait command that we learned earlier. So wait shows up in green, and I'm going to maybe make it wait for 5 seconds so that I can see what happens. So now when I click it, you can see that it changes the size. You can see that it changes the size, and then it goes back to its original size. All right, so I guess since this kind of might be confusing for some people, the way Lynx reads this code is first, it looks at this section, the highlighted section I have on the screen. It says, okay, what's a random number between 0 and 79? And then it chooses that number. Once it has that number, it gives that number to the set size command. And then set size takes that random number that was generated and it sets the size of the watermelon to that size. Hopefully that makes sense. It's just that when code is layered like this, sometimes it can get confusing, which is totally understandable. All right. Does anyone have any questions, concerns? Maybe something's not working or if they want to add something? Yeah, it works backwards. It's like from the inside out. All right. So I guess if everyone is good with that so far, we can add one more element to it because we like to make things complicated. So let's see. We could use a command that we've already learned, which is announce. We can make the watermelon announce something. Maybe right after it's clicked, it can say something like, oh, whoa, I'm like, this is the wrong size. And then we can change the size back. So that'd be really simple. All you have to do is just write announce right before the weight so that it appears before you change the size back. Use the square brackets again, and then write something, write a message. You can write anything you want. It can be like, the watermelon's been bewitched by something that makes it change its size. So if you click on that, it says, waits maybe three more milliseconds, and then it goes back. Now it's, oh no, watermelon explosion. That's smart. Although if it gets smaller, that'd be kind of strange. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, it worked this time. Got really, really big. And it says, oh no, watermelon explosion. So then it changes back. It's also just another fun element you can add. You could also maybe hide a little joke in there if you want. Maybe a secret message. Yeah, something to maybe scare the user when they click on it. All right. So if anyone is having any trouble with that, let me know in the chat. If not, we have around 2 minutes left. So you can like just play along, like play around with whatever you want. If there's any questions about something that you want to do, but if you don't know if it's possible, you can drop it in the chat. If I don't know how to answer it, you can always go onto the Padlet, which is right here. Jen sent the link in the chat already earlier. If not, I can send it again. Let's see. Here, so that is a link to the Hackathon Padlet. So here you can see there's already been a lot of questions. If you have a question, for example, about buttons, you can just click the plus button here. You don't have to sign in. You can ask a question on a guest account. Click that, and then you can just post your question. Like, I won't actually post anything, but you can post a question and then publish it. It is anonymous unless, I think it actually is anonymous unless you sign into Padlet. So you don't have to worry about other people like seeing who's posted what. Yeah, and like Jen said, you'll also find event recordings here. So let's see, actually, where is the event recordings is right here. So as the week progresses, if you're missing something, if you want to go back to this webinar or any other amazing webinars, just click on the links that will be posted right here. And yeah, so that's about it. On how doesn't give you links to meeting for day 5 to 7. Oh, thank you for letting us know. Christy or Jen, if you guys have the link for that. Maybe that.
Looking into it right now.
Okay, cool. But yeah, so that's basically the end of my time with everyone. I had a lot of fun coding with everyone today, but we're out of time. So if you have any further questions, drop them in a Padlet. I'll pass it back to Christy now, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Jessica. As I mentioned earlier, I do have a furry colleague with me, and she's decided to take a snooze now. So if you hear a snoring dog in the background, I sincerely apologize. But believe me, it's definitely better than her whining or barking. So this is positive, in my opinion. But I had so much fun coding with Jessica. How are you guys doing in the chat? I would love to hear from you, amazing hacker gals. Did everybody follow along well? Everyone did great, good, amazing. These are positive things that I love to hear. You all came so prepared, and honestly, you all did phenomenal. I am extremely proud of every single one of you, and I hope that you're all extremely proud of yourselves at home as well. Give yourselves a great big pat on the back because we honestly had so much fun coding with everyone here, and everyone did really great. So I thought the sneaky code elements that Jessica taught were really interesting, and I feel like I'm always learning new things about links, to be honest, because it is such an intricate program, and there's so many different things that you can do and try. But I'm always learning new things about links. Some of you learners taught me amazing things about links in the chat, so that's fantastic. Everybody keep up the good work. And as you all mentioned earlier, you definitely do not have to make your sneaky code project the same as Jessica's. This is all about community and making big changes through community. And keep in mind that in your mission, you're working on explaining what your community means to you. So for your main project, great question, Nabia. It doesn't necessarily have to incorporate sneaky code unless you want to. These are just some tricks and some tools that we've taught you so that if you want to incorporate sneaky code into your project, you absolutely can. So for example, if you're part of a fandom, or let's say maybe you're part of an MMA community, so like mixed martial arts, like maybe you like to do karate or jujitsu. So maybe you can put some sneaky moves into your project, like when you click on someone, they throw a karate kick or something cool like that. Or maybe if you're part of a debate community, you can code some wild plot twists into the announce command that Jessica taught you. So whatever your community, you basically know some exciting code now and some new tricks to put hidden elements into your projects so that it's not super obvious right away. So no matter what community you're part of, you have some tools now to kind of make your project a little bit cooler, in our opinion. I hope everybody had fun. And of course, please remember to check out our Padlet. I'll share my screen again. So like Jessica said, and as we shared before, you've got tons of options to go kind of look back on this recording later and rewatch everything that Jessica taught so that if you forgot anything or if you missed anything, you can reference it later. Or if you have any questions related to this particular webinar or to coding your project, you can just drop them right there and someone from the Hackergal team will respond to you same day. So that's a really cool resource that we've created for you. And Jen will probably put that link in the chat again if she hasn't already. She's usually pretty on the ball. Yes, the karate kick is pretty great, Sienna. That would be really great to have in your project. And of course, you want to check out your hackathon toolkits. Someone was mentioning it earlier and making sure that you check there for all of the cool resources as well. And as Jen mentioned in the chat, we are going to have the Tech Trivia Adventure. That is the next big event that we are so excited for with all of you. I'm really looking forward to that event because it's lots of fun. And we've got some really great speakers as well. So if you guys are free, or if you gals are free on Saturday, May 28th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we really hope you'll join us. The link is right here on the slides, but it is also in your toolkit. The webinar and passcode ID are right there on the slide, but of course you can go to your toolkits and get it there as well. And of course, we do want to share the secret word with you. Jessica's going to put it in the chat and I'm going to put it on the next slide. I hope everyone's ready. The secret word is friendship. Pour mes amis qui parlent français, le mot secret dit amitié. So, friendship or amitié in French. So if you speak French, you can put in the word amitié and it'll still count. If you speak English, you can totally put the word friendship in there and that will count. So add that so that you'll be eligible for the big prize later. Hopefully one of you wins it. I've got my fingers crossed for you because the prizes are so cool this year. I want to win them. I'm really jealous of whichever one of you wins it because I really want some Beats headphones. I really want some cool surprises. That would be really great. And of course, before we end the webinar, we're going to have another round of applause for our amazing sponsors. So a great big thank you to Sago Mini, CSE, CIBC, Google, and our proud partners for supporting Hackergal's mission to close the gender gap in tech. Before I let you lovely learners go, does anyone else have any questions, comments, or concerns? Maybe a big round of applause for Jessica, our amazing guest speaker. Jessica, if you want to come back on camera and wave bye. Jen, if you want to say hi to everybody. Sienna, how many prizes are there? Oh, that's a really good question. So we've got, I believe in total, Jen, correct me if I'm wrong, do we have more prizes up our sleeve? Do we just have the
There might
one?
be some top secret prizes that I and you and Jessica know nothing about, right?
There are some, I mean, maybe. I guess we'll have to go to the events and find out. I heard about the one from the launch party, the Beats Bluetooth headphones. But if there's more prizes, I mean, that would be pretty cool.
Oh, I mean, I know the trivia event's going to be really great. I just wonder if Google's at the trivia event, perhaps a Google prize? Is that a good guess?
Oh, maybe. Maybe there's going to be a Google Prize if Google is at the event, and I'm pretty sure Google is coming to that event. Oh, there might be more prizes. I feel like there were prizes last year, and there was definitely a prize at the trivia event on Hackergal Day. So maybe, maybe. Anyone else? Any other questions before we let everyone go? Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Hacker Gals. We will play you out.